I've been very aware in the last 2 years of what it is to begin to learn something new as a technique, but also as an experienced adult. Really hyper aware of that, and particularly with clay, that it's such a great and immediate medium for making, directly making and forming. Books like this have been really important because as I've been really developing my understanding of what it is I want to do with clay myself, I began to think about putting objects that I've been making with clay in combination with other objects, and books are one of those things that I've begun to incorporate into these first ceramic and mixed media sculptures. So there's something really easy about clay, and at the same time there's the endless enigmas of what you can do and how to do it and what to do with it, and also importantly what to do with it in your own way. As someone who's had a lifelong interest in the relationship between images and objects, particularly photographic images and objects, the potential and possibilities of that relationship with photography evolving in the refusals of some ceramics to be photographed, the sheer joy of putting a ceramic, groggy, buff, pressed, slightly warped bowl with these first peas on top of a masterpiece by Lucy Ree. In fact, the first book that I used as a part of the sculpture was this piece here. This is a little book about Paul Thek. When Paul Thek was teaching in an art school in America, he produced a questionnaire for the students. It's a very beloved list of questions that lots of artists I know enjoy looking through and sometimes using for their own teaching. I guess there's something about that relationship to learning, and also the question of how do we teach something to someone else without limiting them in any way. Bringing ceramics into the media of my practice in the last period of time has felt like a very special folding in of my preoccupations, the question of still life, inhospitable, inhabitable spaces, books as extraordinary, incommensurable objects and things to live with. Also the relationships we develop with our personal objects of our everyday domestic life. In terms of the question of the inside, I've spent a lot of time thinking about the nature of the inside and also of the outside, but also of the outer reaches of inside spaces, thinking about putting together two things in a very intimate way in terms of materials and how something holds something else. It's something I've been thinking a lot about. It's been such a really private thing so far. Like, it was the moment when I really understood the question of one's relationship to technology and technique and chemistry, which has come up again with glaze, and freedom, constraint. I've spent a lot of time with fictional characters in my practice over the last 15 years. Bartleby, Melville's character has been very important in my life. A relationship, I think, to questions around silence and refusal and furniture and space. I was interested in cups, very interested in cups and bowls, very kind of central to ceramics, but also interested in shifting them out of their function. I'm really interested in that, sort of getting into the groove between everyday ceramics in terms of functional ceramics, how we live, how we eat, drink, and then where they become decorative or sculptural. And for me, the cup and the bowl and the plate were these really key sort of central tropes of ceramics that, with my lifelong love affair and interest in the domestic and how we live, I think they were sort of became really clear starting points from which to kind of start to grow my own piece of ground in terms of what it is that I want to do within my own ceramics, and gestures that move something that's functional into sculptural. At the sort of receiver end, I'm interested in then how one lives with them, what one does with something that, we'd say the ashtray pieces that one could use or could put something else into, or with these, for example, this piece, they're all fused together. Depending on, with this it's all porcelain, so I was able to fuse it actually in glazing, so the glaze is actually what's holding it all together. A sculpture, but also there's still a kind of potential that, you know, we do what we want with our things, and there's a potential to put, you know, flowers in it or sweets on it, or you know, I can't control what someone might do with a piece once it's out of my hands. Yeah. So that's a pale pink chino which I've made from scratch, and I've already tested. It's gorgeous. And then the outside is a matte black. These things today are primarily for personal use.